Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous, and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. "You must be Niki?" "Nakai," I say to him. "So you are. Excellent. I am your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Moto. Welcome." We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. "The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now." "Oh, should I go later?" I ask. "Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already." Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. "Do you want to introduce yourself to the class?" "Yeah, sure," I answer. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. "Right," I reply, "but it's no problem." "Let's go then." My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Moto opens the door and enters. "Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again." I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands, as if it will make her invisible. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute. So is the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know why I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. "Please welcome our newest classmate," the teacher concludes. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks it up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about, getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? The teacher asked me. Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She is the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I say. I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you, I say. She signs. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people," and "Who better to explain things to you?" I can see that you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think that I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. Shizune signs. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right. He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today, so soon. He-chan, right? He-chan? Yup, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how, I answer her. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Shizune signs. Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so, I muse. Shizune signs. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, I answer. That would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kinda came straight to class today. Shizune signs. Ha 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 ha! That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you get there. Not just with school, either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shichan? Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Shizune signs. Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. All right, I answer. Shizune signs. Ah, and another thing, you don't have to call Shichan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shichan. Shizune signs. Ah, okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Shizune signs. Yup, Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me, I answer them back. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier, especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Shizune signs. Huh? Oh, right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shichan will get mad. I answer her, the assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Wah, that too. Shizune signs. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. Shizune signs. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Moto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard toward the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table, sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. She signs back. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you want to know something? What? I answer. About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder. I can't think of anything, really. Oh, that means we've been good guides, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I replied to her, if you say so. Misha positively beams, and so does Shizune after a quick translation. I shake my head at their somewhat exaggerated enthusiasm and shift my focus on the food. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk in the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she was slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha and Shizune either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with the students and, finally, the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Shizune signs something. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hichan. We've got to hurry already since there's a lot of work for us to do. Shizune continues. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Ah, wait, I say. The teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. We joined the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building. Shizune signs. This is the auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' offices. They even have a swimming pool. I'm surprised. How is that official? Shizune signs back. Don't be silly, Hichan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I answered. Thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with the actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. All right, so as I said, this is the part at the end that I will give, any thoughts and opinions that I might have, if I do have any. So y'all are totally free to skip this if you wish and move on to the next part if you're not interested in any opinions and all. As well, there will be a little spoiler right at the end, a little spoiler section right at the end of it. Nothing too important, but I will be talking about the decisions that we've made. You see, Misha and Shizune are quite the pair, aren't they? They are quite an interesting couple of people there. Obviously, I'm not doing any along with everything else I've said, with the differences between me and some of the other commentators and people who've read through this novel. I'm not going to be trying to imitate and make any voices either. I cannot do a female voice. My brother Dwindon can do an incredibly convincing one, but he's not reading the story. So I will try and interject some personality and stuff, but I'm not going to be sitting here trying to do impersonations or anything. So yeah, the story's going along. We are about to see the nurse, so we'll see how this turns out. The other thing, and here's the spoiler alert at this point. We've made two decisions so far. The first one was introducing ourselves or not to the class. If we introduce ourselves to the class, that gives us points with the Shizune and Misha arc. And the other decision is when we sat down at the table, by us saying that we didn't have any questions, that gives us points with the Shizune Misha arc as well. Had we decided, if we had chosen deafness, that really wouldn't have given us points anywhere. That would have kept us on the main track. And if we had asked about the library, that would have given us points with Hanako and Lily down that arc. So that's where we are at the moment. And we will start up the next part here and see where we go when we go meet the nurse.